If you search for Western Wall on Google Images, you will see the same picture a million times. You see a massive, sun-drenched stone plaza. You see thousands of people. You see barricades separating men and women. You see soldiers, metal detectors, and floodlights. It is the center of the Jewish world, but it is also a tourist trap. It is loud, crowded, and heavily regulated. But what if I told you there is another wall? It is part of the same ancient structure. It was built by the same king, Herod the Great, but it is hidden deep inside the labyrinth of the Muslim quarter. To find it, you have to walk past the souvenir shops, turn down a dark, narrow alleyway called the Street of the Iron Gate, and navigate through an area where most tourists are told not to go. There are no metal detectors here. There are no guards checking your bag. There is no separation between men and women. It is just a small, exposed section of limestone in a narrow alley. But according to rabbis and geographers, this tiny, forgotten strip of pavement is actually holier than the famous Western Wall Plaza. Why? Because of geometry. Welcome back. Today, we are going off the map. We are visiting Hakatel Hokaton, the Little Western Wall. We are going to explore why the most spiritual spot in Jerusalem is hidden in a Muslim alleyway, and why this secret wall is becoming the next flashpoint in the battle for the Old City. To understand why this wall matters, we have to look at a map of the Temple Mount. The Temple Mount is a massive rectangular platform. The famous Western Wall Plaza, the one everyone visits, is located at the southern end of the Western Retaining Wall. But the Jewish temple, the actual house of God destroyed in 70 AD, not in the south, was located further north, roughly where the Dome of the Rock sits today. This means that when you pray at the main Western Wall Plaza, you are actually quite far away from where the Holy of Holies, the inner sanctum, used to be. You are praying at the outer edge of the parking lot, essentially. But if you walk north along the wall, through the tunnels or the alleyways above, you get closer and closer to the epicenter. The Little Western Wall is located about 175 meters north of the main plaza. Because of this location, it is significantly closer to the Holy of Holies. In fact, it is arguably the closest point a Jew can stand to the Holy of Holies under the open sky. In Jewish theology, proximity matters. The divine presence, Shekinah, is believed to be strongest near the site of the Ark of the Covenant. Therefore, for the mystic, a prayer whispered at the little wall has a shorter distance to travel than a prayer shouted at the big wall. The experience of the little wall is shocking because of its intimacy. At the main plaza, you are a spectator. The stones tower 60 feet above you. You are one of thousands. At the little wall, the space is tiny. It is essentially an open-air room, about the size of a small garage, wedged between Arab houses. Only 2 courses layers of the massive Herodian stones are visible. The rest are buried underground or covered by later construction. Because it is not an official synagogue under state law, though this is contested, there is no mechitza, the barrier dividing men and women. This makes it a magnet for a different kind of worshipper. You see ultra-Orthodox Jews seeking quiet meditation, but you also see secular Jews, women who want to read from the Torah out loud, which is restricted at the main plaza, and people who just hate the crowds. There is a raw, unpolished feeling here. You can hear the sounds of domestic life from the apartments above, a baby crying, a TV playing Al Jazeera, the clatter of dishes. You are praying right in the middle of a living, breathing neighborhood. It feels like the Western Wall used to feel 100 years ago, before the bulldozers cleared the area to create the giant plaza. It is a time capsule of authentic, pre-state Jerusalem. But this intimacy comes with tension. The little wall is located in the Muslim quarter. Specifically, it is right next to the Iron Gate, Bab al-Hadid, one of the entrances to the Al-Aqsa compound. This means that to get there, Jewish worshippers have to walk through a purely Palestinian neighborhood. For decades, this was a friction point. The residents, the Palestinian families living in the courtyard, the Rib al-Kurd, view the wall as the supporting wall of their homes. For them, it's not a shrine, it's their patio. They often see the influx of Jewish worshippers as an intrusion, or worse, a prelude to settlement expansion. The worshippers, for religious Jews, walking through the shuk to get there is an act of reclaiming their right to the entire city. They are often escorted by armed police, which changes the atmosphere from spiritual to paramilitary very quickly. There have been incidents where residents threw trash or water from the windows down onto the worshippers. There have been incidents where worshippers chanted nationalist slogans that angered the residents. It is a microcosm of the conflict, two people claiming the same vertical space. One claims the history of the stones. The other claims the reality of the house built on top of them. For a long time, the little wall was ignored by the Israeli government. It was dirty, filled with garbage, and unlit. But in recent years, there has been a push to upgrade it. And in Jerusalem, upgrade is a code word for takeover. Jewish organizations have lobbied to clean the stones, install lighting, and pave the floor. On the surface, this sounds like municipal maintenance, but politically, it is explosive. If Israel officially recognizes the Little Wall as a holy site, like the main plaza, it changes the legal status. It would require permanent police posts, checkpoints, and regulations. It would effectively annex that courtyard from the Muslim quarter and turn it into a Jewish enclave. The WAQF, the Islamic Trust, watches this spot like a hawk. When a Jewish group tried to place a small ark with a Torah scroll there permanently, the police removed it. Why? Because permanent furniture implies ownership. It is the same logic as the immovable ladder or the monks on the roof. If you leave a chair there overnight, you have conquered the territory. So, the prayer books must be brought in and taken out every single time. It is impossible to talk about the Little Wall without mentioning what is beneath it. Just a few feet below the pavement of the Little Wall runs the Western Wall tunnels. Israel has excavated the entire length of the wall underground. In the tunnels, there is a spot directly opposite the Holy of Holies where women pray 24/7. So, you have a triple-decker sandwich of prayer. Underground, Jewish women praying in the tunnels. Street level, Jewish men and women praying at the Little Wall. Above, Muslim families living their lives and Muslim worshippers entering the Iron Gate to pray at Al-Aqsa. It is the most densely packed religious layer cake on earth. Why should you care about a wall in an alley? Because the Little Western Wall challenges our idea of what a holy site should look like. We usually think holy sites need to be grand, golden, and guarded. We think they need to be separated from the profane world. But the Little Wall is the opposite. It is gritty, it is hidden. It is surrounded by the smells of cooking and the sounds of daily life. It forces the believer to find holiness in the middle of the mesinzas of humanity. It is also the ultimate test of coexistence. At the main plaza, Jews and Muslims are separated by fences and checkpoints. At the Little Wall, they are separated by nothing but air and history. If you ever find yourself in Jerusalem, skip the main plaza for an hour. Go find the Iron Gate. Stand at the Little Wall and listen. You won't hear a choir of angels. You will hear the heartbeat of a city that is trying, against all odds, to live together. If you enjoyed this secret history, hit subscribe. Next, we are going to explore mapping hell and how a literal garbage dump in Jerusalem became the global symbol for eternal damnation. See you next time.